Hello viewers and welcome back to the channel with me, BenTheSailorMan. I hope you're doing well. We got something different today. We're going to go through another guide today. Going through, obviously last time I went through coaching staff. This time we'll go through scouting and recruitment team and how to get the most out of your recruitment team. What you should really be looking for when it comes to recruitment team. Because there's a few little tips to getting the most out of your recruitment team that many people seem to forget, but I'll show you them today. So first of all, obviously then, we're going to look at scouts. Obviously, when you think of recruitment, you think of scouts. So we look at Javier Weiner then, one of my main scouts, one of my favourite scouts this year. There's a few things you want to look for when you're looking at a scout. Adaptability, judging player ability, and judging player potential are obviously your three main attributes. Obviously, judging player ability and judging player potential, they're quite self-explanatory. Obviously, it will give you the best. So the higher that, the higher star, the more accurate the star rating will be. And if you're not using, if you are using attribute masking, it'll give you all the attributes of that player to a better degree. And there's a few other attributes in there that you want to look at as well. Adaptability, in terms of scouts, it will determine how good he is as a roaming scout, as opposed to being in one fixed position. So say if you wanted to go, you have one scout, this example, this scout here knows quite a bit of South America. I'd probably go send him off send him to the whole of South America to find young prospects for me, and that would be perfect for him. The other stat you'll look for are determination, obviously how determined he is to find the good players, and as well a few other things that can be useful as well is his age. Obviously the younger the scout, more likely he's going to develop. When I first picked this guy up, I think he had about 15 in both stats. He's grown really nicely, and the main one that a lot of people forget about, which you'd be surprised, that is this here is an absolute godsend. I'll show you what my scouting network looks like in a minute on this Dynamo save. It is quite astronomical, and I've managed to get it with, okay, I have a lot of staff, but I've managed to get it massive, and it's still growing. Obviously, we're only so far into the season. I only just got new scouts, so they haven't given me their full report yet of the area. But yeah, so basically we're going to be looking for, as well as looking at stats, you also want to be looking at this scouting knowledge and world knowledge. And then by the end of it, I'll show you what it will look like when it's done. This, obviously, I say, is still growing. You'll start getting something that looks green like this. This is pretty much what you want. You want as many countries. You can see here, I have got loads and loads of countries that I know so much about. And as I say, a lot of these are growing. You look at this here, it's only saying it's 44%. Because it's the start of the season, we got 62% that we can learn from this guy. But yeah, so it's already mentioned, the things you want to be looking for in your scouts is your determination, and adaptability for your scouts that are going to go roaming, and also the ones who the best thing that I do is I say here, not all of my scouts are 20 and then 20 on everything. I've got a few, say for example here, I've got Weiner and Sealin, two really good scouts I've got here. They're 20-20 in both stats. They'll be, so say if I want to know about one player, I've got generic scouts that will go off and look for the players in general to go and find. If I really like the look of a player, I'll then send one of my two best scouts to go and scout that player to get a proper report to really understand what that player is like before I go and make a bid. They're the main ones that you're looking for then. Say here, this world rating and this rating a world rating, it's useful to find scouts, but it's not the best way to find scouts. What we're going to do then is we'll look at in a second how to find scouts. Before that, we'll look at how to set up your scouting network. So first thing to do then when you join a save is what you really want to really think is, do you want to be taking responsibility of where your scouts are going to go and find players, or do you want to delegate it to your manager? If you're not going to do it, first thing you want to do is come straight to this menu here, press this little thing and select your chief scout. Another thing I forgot that is worth noting with your chief scout, where is my chief scout actually? He's down here, Krashenikov. Another thing you want to look at is he's got a fairly decent man management. Obviously, if he's a chief scout, he's going to be managing his staff. That's another stat you want to be looking at for sure. So yeah, that's the other stat you want to look for a chief scout. We've already mentioned about that if you don't want to do your scouting yourself and just want to leave it and delegate it to the staff, go up here and select it. If you do want to do it, then you come to assignments, and you set up here, create new assignments. And you want to be setting up so say that Javier Weiner, Obviously, we said about sending him to South America. You'd want to go to this continent here, go to South America down here, instead of South America, and then I'd look at these initial conditions. If I was looking for the future, I just put scouted on and set it to excellent. On this, obviously depending on your level of club, but on this club, I wouldn't take anyone less on with less potential than 4.5 star. I'd then come down here, set it to the scout I wanted, and make sure that it's worth noting that you want to be setting each scope to be the area that scout knows. So there's no point sending a scout that knows Germany and something out to America, for example. He wouldn't get as much. He'd be better suited going to Germany. So the next thing you want to be doing then, obviously we've already spoke about how to look for how to set up your scouts. One thing I mainly suggest is looking at like the main competitions, at scouting all the main competitions, and then scouting areas that you want to look for players as well. So obviously I've got the main ones scouted, say like Romanian league, Serbian league, lots of leagues here that I've got. I'm literally looking for Croatian First League, Sky Bet Championship. I scout a lot of tournaments, as well as scouting a lot of places as well. That's something you want to note. And you want to have one also that scouts, one of your scouts looking at the next opposition. So you see here, actually, no, that's my analyzer next opposition. My David, this chief data analyst, that's the one. So we're going to look now at how to find your your staff. So one thing you want to do is you want to come here. When you're looking for your scouts, the thing you want to be doing is you want to come into your recruitment stuff, set it to scout, because you only really want the scouts. And the thing that I do is I'd set up, so you go here, sorry, not staff ability. You want these two and set these two to a minimum. So say I usually set for this club at 15 for both of them. That's how I set it. For both the attributes, set it to 15. And also a thing you want to do before this is set up a shortlist. So you can add these staff members to it and then you can decide later. And I will go through every single one of these and look solely, not looking at these abilities here, and I will look solely at the world knowledge, looking at nations that I don't have yet on my scouting knowledge, and go through every single one, looking at this and making sure that I've got. So this one here, Spain, you probably don't really want him, if I'm honest with you, because yes, he knows Spain, but he only knows Spain. Same as Italy as well. Usually you can find scouts who'll be able to know like Spain and another country as well. I think it's say Jorge, no, not Alvial, does not know that, but you know where I'm trying to head off with that. So say like here, Stan Valks knows quite a lot of countries. A kind of scout like that, that's a really good scout. Got some decent stats, you've got good adaptability, good determination, good judging abilities, as well as knowing quite a lot of the world, which is something that you want to do as well. And then when you come towards it, your not physios, your scouts here. This is my scouting list of players. I've got some really good scouts on here. You got, for example, Jose Boto, a really good scout. But you've also got scouts on here who will know places that are a little bit more different. So here I've got a Hungary scout. And if I don't find anyone, say a Togo scout here, if I don't find a place for that nation, I will go and lower these stats here to 14 and 14 and just keep looking through and just basically coming up with a short list like this, narrowing it down, getting as many of that scouting knowledge. That's what I'm really worried about in this. And then afterwards, so basically I'm setting like a basic parameters, final ones are good scouting knowledge, and then afterwards when I'm deciding which ones I'm going to bring in, I'll then look at the actual stats of that scout. So we've looked at how we're going to find scouts, and then this is the tip of how to maximize because obviously you only have so many scouts that you can bring in, and that will limit how big you can grow your scouting knowledge, your regional knowledge too. There is a way to make it bigger, a way to make it massive. So say when you get to the stage where you have staff, so obviously there's a little fact that a lot of people often overlook. Coaches contribute towards that scouting knowledge. This coach here, Lionel Charbonnier, I bought in. He was an all right goalkeeping coach. I wanted someone who would come in and do like a third choice goalkeeping coach, if you know what I mean, just to like kind of put the cones out almost. But he knows Indonesia. That was the main reason I bought him in. Not a great coach, but plays that goalkeeping coach. No, sorry, trains as that goalkeeping coach even, but knows Indonesia. So that's a way you can upgrade your scouting knowledge. So say if you already have a really good core coaching staff and you're looking to bring a few players here and a few coaches here and there, look at their scouting knowledge. Make sure you bring in people who are going to know how, like, no different places. You can do it that way. Other things you can do is obviously data analysts. They will know places as well. You can do exact same thing with that. So this guy here knows Holland. He's been at here quite a long time, so he does know a bit of Croatia, but he knows Holland. So he's quite good in that respect. And another data analyst here, Alpha Martins, has learned Algeria as well. So that's another thing that is benefiting my regional knowledge. Another one that we saw when we looked at my staff knowledge here was there's physios with scouting knowledge. There's a few physios that are also that will also count as coaches. So he knows Argentina. He knows a little bit, but not a lot. But there's one that I bought in. I'll show you him now. So this guy here, Arno Phillips, a physio I bought in, 20 physiotherapy. Physios are really good because you can kind of set the highest level physiotherapy. And there's a few other stats you want to look at, but not that much. But he's a fitness coach. He knew Turkey, for 80% on knowing Turkey, which is really, really good. Bringing him in increases that regional knowledge, which really, really helps long term. Knowing Turkey's quite hard to find good scouts for, I find. So having good scouts and then finding people who know Turkey is quite a good thing. And knowing Arno Phillips knows Turkey to 80% and is a 20 physiotherapy, really, really good. Was worth paying $4,000 a week for, that's for sure. The other thing you also want to look at as well is, I already mentioned coaches and staff in that respect. You can also bring in your your coaching staff in the under 19s and things will also be of will also know other places. Like, for example, this guy knows Germany. I don't know if there's any, is there any physios in there? Let's have a quick look. Here's a good example. Danny Kreutzer, an under 19 sports scientist. You can also do it with sports scientists as well, because some of them are also fitness coaches. This sports scientist that's in my under 19's got a 16 sports science attribute there, but also has a 64% knowledge of Greece, which contributes a lot towards my towards the regional knowledge. And the more and more you can manage to eke, we'll just say cheese as much as you can out of this, the more and more places that you'll get good regens from, and the more and more places you'll find these really, really abstract players. Like, maybe you'll find like an Indonesian wonder kid that no one else will find, but because you know them odd countries, you'll be able to spot them first. And then over time, you're scouting in your scouting center, they'll pop up and say, oh, I found this guy on the assignment that you sent. So it's one thing knowing the place, but also as well, you got to make sure that you send a guy on an assignment to sort of around that area. So having a guy that maybe scouts Asia, you'll maybe pop up with guys as well. But yeah, that's my main tips, is being able to grow that regional knowledge as much as you can by cheesing it, using different members of staff who also have scouting knowledge, like physios and sports scientists. A lot of people overlook, but you can go and get some. So we already mentioned there's two guys, a physio and a sports scientist, that both have scouting knowledge, that have contributed towards that regional knowledge really, really well. That's how I've managed to get. I mean, I've got a lot of staff, but that's because I won the Champions League in this save, and they gave me a buttload of staff, it's fair to say. But yeah, that's one thing that I definitely recommend, is making sure that you can manage to eke as much as you can out of each member of staff. If you can get a little bit extra, obviously the main thing you want to do is making sure they are good at their job. You don't want to be bringing in people just for the regional knowledge, but it's an added bonus, it's fair to say. If you can find someone who's really good but also has a bit of regional knowledge that you need to know, bring him in, pay him what he needs. But yeah, that's my tips and tricks as to the scouting network, how to make get the best scouts that you need. Obviously we already mentioned that the main stats, obviously adaptability and judging for your scouts, and then for as well, you also be looking for determination, and for your chief scout, you also want man management as well. They're like the main stats for scouts. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've learned something. And if you have, put it down in the description. Tell me what else you want to see, any other guides you want to see, and I can drop them. I can research them, look into them, and produce them as well for your viewing. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. My socials are down in the description below, with my Discord, as well as the Passion for FM Discord as well, and the Passion for FM website. There'll probably be if I can find the article on Passion for FM about scouts, I will link that down in the description as well. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, as I say, and learnt something. If you could like and subscribe, it massively, massively helps me out. Until next time, gang, peace.